Yeah, so Greg Strong was the recruitment guy at Morecambe, took me on loan. So he got in touch about potentially coming up here. Summer was a bit too soon for me to make the move because I was still in Sacramento and I was enjoying it, playing regular football. And I felt it was important to finish that season strong there, get lots of games under my belt and then make the move in January. So yeah, that's really how it came about from him, really.
It's quite a long time in the making. Was it quite nice to have a manager that was really determined to get you in?
Yeah, it's always nice that because what football can be like. So yeah, when you're wanted, that's always the first place you want to go, really. So yeah, I was delighted with that.
And you must feel like you're coming here with a bit of momentum behind you because that Sacramento spell looked like a really productive one for you. Just how fondly do you reflect on that? Maybe compared to other spells that you've had in your career so far.
Yeah, I think in other spells I've been a bit unlucky and I got the luck while I was there. I managed to do the whole season, played a lot of games and scored a lot of goals. So really for me it was perfect and it were exactly what I needed at that point in time. So yeah, I can only reflect on it with positive feelings, really.
How did you find the lifestyle over there?
Very different. Yeah, it's very hot, a lot more relaxed than over here. And yeah, it was just it had the feel of a holiday where you just played football in between. So it were for what I needed in my career, it were perfect. Everything, yeah.
Yeah. And what was the standard like? In terms of you do see that quite a lot of players that have made a name for themselves in Europe end up in the US football. Was the standard good?
Yeah, standard were good. It's not heavily televised over here, so people aren't really aware of the level and things. But you've got players that used to play in this league. You got a few of the other players, so the level's good. I'd say it's a bit more technical than England, but probably not as physical.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was good. It surprised me when I went.
Did you encounter Nick Ross of
Yeah.
Cali Thistle?
Yeah.
Was he a teammate?
Yeah, teammate. Yeah.
Okay.
So he were actually one of the people that I called about coming here.
Yeah.
Because he lived here for a while in Inverness. So yeah, he was one of the people that I called when I got there.
Yeah, he had a great time with Cali Thistle over the river. He's got the Scottish Cup final and things like that.
Yeah, he was telling me all about that when I was there.
Yeah.
Really nice guy. We're close, me and Nick.
Did he warn you about the Highland weather that we've seen in the last few days? Or is that a shock?
It did, to be fair, but like I was saying, it's not. I won't say it was massively different from where I live back home.
No.
So even the area, it's just out in the middle of nowhere. That's sort of where I am. So yeah, it's not that much of a change for me, to be honest.
How would you characterise your Huddersfield time laterally? Was it frustrating for you not getting the kind of level of football you want?
Yeah, I think yeah, frustrating definitely. I think I was a bit unlucky. You need that in football sometimes.
Yeah.
I went and did really well on loans, and then I got a little injury or a big injury, or the manager swapped when I was on loan, and then you're playing for a guy that's never seen you before. So but sometimes things aren't just meant to be. I love the club. It was my first club when I was younger. Just sometimes, obviously, it don't work out. And that's okay.
Yeah.
Am I right in thinking you've had a couple of big injuries in your career?
Yeah, I had one when I was really young, when I was 16, and then I had a hamstring tear when I was on loan in League One, but thankfully I got over both of them, so feeling pretty good now.
I mean, at 16, that's been tough to deal with. I mean, does that give you a lot of mental strength coming out the other side of that?
Yeah, for sure. There were a lot of hard times with it. I mean, I was young. I was in bed for 3 months. I couldn't get out of bed, and I missed my whole scholarship at Everton. So they were really good with me. They gave me an extra year, sort of prove myself, and that's what I did. But yeah, they were definitely a struggle. But you come out the other side a better person, for sure.
When you say you couldn't get out of bed, what was the kind of illness or injury that?
It was I had a knock on both my knees at the same time, and the recovery was like 12 weeks of nothing, because I had to have a machine to move my knees and bend them for me, things like that. So yeah, that was definitely a tough period. But like I said, you grow from it. You become stronger as a person, and it's put me in good stead for what I'm doing now.
Has that affected how you've kind of approached your career since you were able to come back?
Potentially. I mean, before I had that injury, I never had an injury before in my life, and then I had that one, so it was like everything at once. and obviously there's challenges that come with that, but you know you face them and then you get over them. That's how it goes. But yeah, I feel like the last few years in particular, like completely got over that. Like it's gone, and I'm ready to kick on now.
I think when you signed you, the manager here said one of the reasons he brought you in was your physicality, the pace that you could bring. So obviously physically it hasn't affected you long term. You managed to keep it.
No, and before I had the injury, I was really small as well. I'd not grown yet. At 16, honestly, I was really small. So I sort of did all my growing while I was injured, and I sort of came out the other side a completely different player. I was always fast, but obviously when you're really small, you're not as fast. But yeah, I sort of grew into my body as the time went on, and yeah, in a good place at the moment.
Good stuff, yeah.
What was your first impression of Scottish football? Obviously, Kieran made your debut against the champions at the weekend.
Yeah, to be honest with you, it's not. I won't say it's much different from what I've been used to in England. You know, English football is a physical game. It's the same here. It's faster paced. It's faster paced than America for sure. But again, it's just a different type of football. But no, I've been impressed with the lads, the training. So yeah, I'm looking forward to kicking on now.
Because you've signed for the sort of the long haul. You know, after quite a few loan spells that you've had, is it quite good to just have that, you know, sort of home that you've almost found to, you know, just really focus on developing?
Yeah, for sure. That's what I was looking for really. After you do the loans for the last like 3 seasons, it can get a bit frustrating moving around all the time and having to pick your life up and take it somewhere else. So it's nice to at this stage settle and have a real go at something where you know you're not going to leave in 6 months either way. So that's a real positive for me, definitely.
And obviously, an instant impact coming off the bench half time, and obviously you won the penalty, which got the goal. That must be nice for you too. You were kind of involved straight away in the game.
Yeah, definitely. I think I'm glad that I came on at half time. Obviously, it gave me a good opportunity to show what I can do. We obviously didn't have much of the ball, but I thought we worked hard and we kept ourselves in the game. But yeah, like I said, to win the penalty, it's good. It got us back in the game. I wish you want to push me over because I could have added it in myself, but at least we scored the penalty, so you can't complain. So yeah, and hopefully more of that to come.